We are fortunate to be gracing such an event where we meet legends of football in South Africa. One of them is former Kaizer Chiefs captain, player and striker, and former Bafana Bafana forward, that is Bernard Parker, all the way from Eguruleni. My brother Parker, let's start here. No excuse campaign. What does it mean to you to be part of this?
Thanks, my brother. Thanks for having me. You're always so prim and proper every time you interview me. Yes, there's no excuse. I wouldn't call it a program. I wouldn't call it a campaign. I would call it a movement. You know, this is such a great movement, and with this movement that has partnered with soccer most in generally. We know soccer is the most loving sport, the most followed sport, not only in South Africa but globally as well. And when No Excuse came knocking, I think maybe mostly because that through my foundation I've done work already with doing men's conferences, you know, GBV drives and stuff like that. So when No Excuse came, I said, why not? Yes, this is my thing.
As a coach, let's go to the field of play now. Bafana Bafana have been drawn. We saw the AFCON draw for the Morocco tournaments that's coming in December. We now know our opponents, including Zimbabwe, that is also our opponents for the World Cup qualifiers. What do you think of the draw?
Yeah, no, it was a good draw. I followed the draw live, and the goosebumps, you know, and also wishing that I was still in the Bafana setup. Yeah, you know, it's a tough group, you know, and always our neighbors, Zimbabwe, always giving us a hard time, you know, also because they know our football. You know, we've got most of most of the Zimbabwean national squad players in playing their trade in the PSL. So that would be that's always a challenge of a match when we play against Zim. And also the Giants, you know, the pyramid. You know, it's gonna be a really tough one. But I believe once we overcome this group, anything is possible from the knockout stages. I believe that we can. We've shown it in the last AFCON, and I believe that we've got the arsenal in terms of not only the quality of players that we have, but also the character and the mental strength that we've got in the squad.
Talking of the Pharaohs, I think they're still mad at us. Remember what Lodge did in those dying minutes in Egypt?
Yes. I remember that vividly, you know, and it has always been like that for all these years, you know, the clash between the South and the North, you know, and also in my time when I was facing them as well, it's always just a physical game. It's always just a physical game, not much of tactics. So I'm sure that we will be able to handle the intensity of the game, and I'm sure we also are wise and smart enough also to contain their quality as well, because they've got a team full of world beaters. They've got a team that they've got players that play in top European clubs as well. So we are well aware of what we're facing, because we get to verse them most of the time. So I would say that for Bafana Bafana, Coach Hugo Bros and his team, they know what expected. It's just for us to make sure that on all three group stage matches that we got the right mental levels.
Now, talking of all three, the other one, Angola, being Angola, also in SADC, what can we expect from a match against Angola?
Also a physical one against Angola. They got big boys as well, you know, and Angola plays direct football, so we should also be aware also of that as well. You know, we know aerial duels, you know, and also we know our second balls, and then from there on we should just play our game, which is a passing game, which is a game of speed, because as Bafana we play with a lot of speed, and to make sure that we try and dominate as much as we can, being solid at the back, being solid and strong defensively. If we don't concede, and the game gets tough and we do not concede, we can earn a point, and when we get to group stages we can also have that same mentality, and also maybe go on to extra time and penalties. But you never know what would happen. It's just for us to make sure that we're more solid this time at the back. We've got the best goalkeeper on the continent, as our leader. So I'm sure we got that in our back pocket. It's just for us to make sure that we execute well when it comes to match day.
From a coaching perspective, what can Coach Hugo Broos do to build on the number 3 that we got in the previous tournament? From as I'm trying to think now, from the matches that we played, but the most important thing, I think, Coach Hugo Broos should wire the attackers, to take their chances, because it's very, very difficult. It's the most difficult part of football, to put the ball in the back of the net. And once we get the chance, we should take our chances. We didn't do it against Nigeria so many times, so taking our chances, I think that should be our first thing to look at, and from there on I'm sure that we can go all the way.